There are the times when you want confrontation. I want confrontation. I'm already I'm fed up. I'm angry over a situation that happened with Caleb or something that happened with the kids, and it's building. It's building, and at some point you feel like I just want it out. I want to get it out. I'm looking for a fight.
So where does conflict come from? Conflict occurs when our desires are not fulfilled, when we don't get what we want. Our rights have been violated. But one of the rights I want to talk about this morning is rooted in selfishness. It sounds something like this. I have the right to make that decision. As an adult, I have the right to be able to come and go as I please. I spend the time with our child, so I should have the right to be able to make decisions. Does that feel a little different? Creates a little conflict, doesn't it? Our expectations have not been met. Let's face it. We're an expectation factory. We churn out expectations on people that don't even know that we're putting expectations on them, and then we hold them to that, especially our spouses.
You don't talk to me. You don't want to spend time with me. You don't want to pour into our marriage like you should. Sometimes I don't feel like you love me enough. Sometimes I don't feel like you like me enough.
We put out an expectation, and then when they don't meet it, they don't even know that I had that expectation on them. And what do we want to do? We want to crush them over that.
It has nothing to do with any of it. I just don't feel like I'm in a place sometimes I don't feel like there's anything there. I don't feel like I have what it takes to give.
Quite frankly, as spouses, we can be mean. We can be ugly at times. We can be disrespectful. Sometimes, even our children. When our children disobey, we take that as they're disrespecting us, instead of just acting like we do. Or when we're exhausted and we've had a tough day and our children are acting up, what do we tend to do? We tend to take it out on our spouse rather than looking at the issue that's really there. We got to be good at finding that issue.
In our house, it's really, if Caleb's not happy, nobody's happy, because he sort of kind of rules the barometer of stress in our home. I will think, oh my goodness, my patience is amazing today. I cannot believe I've been this patient with him. And then all of a sudden, one of my typical children will walk in and do one thing, and I just explode on them. The guilt that ends up coming out of, that I end up having, because I end up taking so much of my stress out on them or my husband, when it's really and truly my child with autism that's stressing me out.
And then our unfulfilled desires may result in anger.
We've had knockdown dragouts, and we've had those moments where you say bad and hurtful things.
Anger and a right response cannot be together. You got to be able to get rid of one of those. And obviously, you got to get rid of the anger.
But once you leave and once these things have been said, you walk away and you're like, why did I say that? I don't mean any of that.
Our unfulfilled desires lead to fighting and quarreling. And some of this stuff starts to feel an awful lot like theology. It starts to get really heavy. And when that happens in my life, a lot of times what I want to do is I want to try to reach out and listen to some of our great theologians of today. So often I'll get in the car, I'll turn on the radio, and I'll turn to the local country station. Let me read you some lyrics from Terry Clark. says, I just want to be mad. Last night we went to bed not talking because we already said too much. I faced the wall, you faced the window. Bound and determined not to touch. We've been married 7 years now. Some days it feels like 21. I'm still mad at you this morning. Coffee's ready if you want some. I've been up since 5, thinking about me and you. And I've got to tell you the conclusion I've come to. I'll never leave. I'll never stray. My love for you will never change.
And for the most part, Amy and I are a great team. We take on the world. We have taken on the world. We've had a lot of struggles, from the infertility to our son with autism, having 3 typical kids, having a son with autism and 3 typical kids, and how that works out.
But I ain't ready to make up or get around to that. But I think I'm right. I think you're wrong. I'll probably give in before long. Please don't make me smile. I just want to be mad for a while.
It's never easy. There's never a day in our life that doesn't have an enormous amount of stress.
I'm going to leave for work without a goodbye kiss. But as I'm driving off, just remember this. I'll never leave. I'll never stray. My love for you will never change. For conflict to be resolved, both husband and wife must be committed to oneness.
I want to be that loving husband for you. I want to be there for you because we're in this together. This is us against them. And if I'm fighting with you, I'm fighting myself.